Good early afternoon. We are live here at the Wharf in Orange Beach, Alabama. Wisdom Harbor Studios. I'm Andy Andrews. This is the Blue Plate Special. And you're here on a very special day. This is a Blue Plate Special because I've got a gift for you. I'll tell you in a little bit. But I'm going to give you something. How about that? So, very excited to be here. Click those notifications if you're on Facebook. We're glad you're here with us, and click the notifications. Let us know that so that we'll let you know that when we're here. And what else? Oh, please share. Okay, look down to your right, and there's a share, and you click it, and it may say options, and then click options, and it'll say share to your page. Yes, share to your page, if you will. And then your buddies will see us live as you are watching it, okay? So Stephanie Glines is monitoring the comments today, so she'll be talking back and forth with you as you and I are talking here. Stephanie's on the beach, so she's in a much nicer place than we all are right now. Hi to all the guys on Instagram and the Backing Gang on Twitter. A bunch of Twitter people. If you're on YouTube, please click that subscribe button in the bottom right so that they'll line us up for you. Just make life easier, and it'll be good for us. Mike Marty, hi. How are you doing? So you're from Huntsville, huh? Hey, how do you like now, I got to tell you, the Sand Dollar Lifestyle shirt of the day is... This is beautiful. Sand Dollar Lifestyle is right down here, the cornerstone of the Wharf. And I have been griping about T-shirts only having stuff on the back. And Jeff Hardy, the owner of Sand Dollar, texted me the other day and said, we do have some. They're on the front. Have you looked in the Life is Good section? And I guess I had not. So I went and looked in the Life is Good section and see, not all who wander are lost. Cool, huh? So, and I don't even have anything to show you in the back because it's all in the front, just like I like. Hi, Diane Hale from Tennessee. And there's from Wichita, from Costa Rica, Charlene Simpson, Pedro Garcia from Las Cobas, Robotico, Hooker Spring, Catfish City, Tennessee. Unbelievable. I love seeing the names of some of your towns. Grand Bay, you're right nearby. I'm gonna actually, look what I got. Look what I have. Hey, Bob Woodall. And there's days in Minnesota. It's like the tropical island of Minnesota. So Martha Rigby watching from Creedmoor, North Carolina. You're actually seeing it live. Good. Look what I got. They sent me one. This is the new book. It doesn't come out until September 8th, which is next week. It comes out next week, but I actually got one. So that's what it looks like. That's what the back of it looks like. That's what the side of it looks like. There's inside front cover, inside back cover, and I'm gonna read you a chapter from it today that I haven't read. Hey Chris, hey Gina, I'm gonna read you a chapter from it today. But I want to go ahead and tell you about the gift right now. Okay. And this is true if you have already pre-ordered this. This includes you, okay? But from now through the end of September, all you got to do is get the book. And I have a series it's an audio series, a 4-hour audio series, and it's called Becoming a Noticer. And this 4-hour intensive audio program has 5 parts: gaining a new perspective, creating fertile ground, reinventing relationships, discovering purpose, and above and beyond. And so this is Becoming a Noticer. And all you got to do, if you'll order the new book and just send a screenshot or a picture of your receipt for Just Jones to Andy@andyandrews.com, or just DM me. That's direct message on social media. And I'll send you the whole 4 hours. I'll send you a link and you can download the whole 4 hours Becoming a Noticer. It's normally $50-something on iTunes. And so, but you can have it for free. Okay? Well, you just ordered a new book. And if you'll spread the word, I would appreciate it. I would love for people to have that 4 hour program on Becoming a Noticer. And I'm thrilled actually that I'm able to offer that and do that for free for everybody. I really am excited that you get this book. So is that okay if I go ahead and read you? I want to read you just a chapter. I've just picked one right in the flat middle of the book. It's right, see? Right in the middle of the book. Shirley Greenfield Cole from Amarillo, Texas. Have you ever noticed that everywhere you go in Texas, you're 200 miles from Amarillo? I don't know why that is, but I have noticed that. Driving in Texas, everywhere you go, it's like 200 miles to Amarillo. Okay. I really like what they did with the cover on this, because I really like the live oak. The oak actually features prominently in this story. And I want to tell you, this book, I feel weird saying this about, something I wrote, but I think this book is a life changer. And I did not know when I was writing it. I was writing it a year ago. And I didn't know that our world was going to be in such a crazy place that, people are going to be at each other's throats. But there is a theme of peace in this book and creating peace. And where's it?
Someone was complaining.
Oh, somebody's complaining that's crooked? Really? Why? There's somebody a little more OCD than me. Oh my gosh. So it really bugs you that it's crooked here. Yeah, I'll continue. Okay, so anyway, when I was writing it, I had no idea that the world was going to be in this kind of crazy place. And so but there's a lot of conversation around a table that is named according to what's happening. And so there's tons and tons and tons of surprises. I think you're going to laugh hard out loud in this book. And I think that there's mystery all the way through it. There's things you're trying to figure out all the way through it. And there's a couple of teary moments. And of course, with Jones, with the old man, you learn a lot. So now, before I read, can we just let's all just kind of look together and make sure that all the prints are straight. Anything that's got it? Everybody okay? All right. I know that it is hard. It was Patricia Garrison, and thank you for doing that. But I know that it is hard to pay attention when something is weird. And do you know that when I get ready to do something now, years ago when I would get ready to speak or something, I'd be, in the mirror and I'm getting everything ready and I'm making sure does this look right, and I'm making sure that I'm, because I'm thinking, hey, tonight there may be the one, and Polly and I didn't get married till I was 29, and so now I am aware when I get ready to do something, I'm aware that I don't need to be attracting. All right. And so my prayer is always like, God, I don't need to be attracting, but don't let me be distracting. Right. I mean, just like, don't let me walk out there and have somebody go, oh my God, that picture is so crooked, I can't even hear what he says. Or, my acorn is crooked now. Seriously? Are you serious? It is not. It is not, is it? Is that better? You guys now you're going to make me kind of nervous about this. We okay? All right. Whew. The Instagram people are not bothering me at all. Thank you very much. Okay. Here we go. I'm going to do a chapter for you. And this is, let me tell you what chapter it is. Chapter 17, right in the middle of the book. Okay. And we are down by the canal with, hey, Mark Lowry. Mark Lowry says I need a green screen. That's true. I mean, every time I watch you, you're like, it's got like waves behind you. Kevin Perkins says my shoe is untied. Shut up. Okay, so Jones and the redheaded 13-year-old kid, Ollie Sutherland, are down by the canal. So here we go, chapter 17. That tree limb, Jones said, the one above the bush with yellow flowers. Oliver didn't take long before declaring, "Nah, there's no way." Jones turned toward the young man very slowly. His mouth and cheeks were set in a concrete countenance of offense and challenge. But it didn't bother Oliver at all. He saw the sparkle of good humor in the old man's eyes. "Oh, really?" Jones said. "If I don't make it, I'll give you 10 seconds to grab all the candy you can at the 5 and dime. But if I do make it, you have to pick some of those yellow flowers and take them to your mother." Oliver's face lit up with the first possibility, but when the second was rolled into play, his eyes narrowed. "Why's that?" he asked. Jones continued to study the limb, moving his head a bit, gauging the height of the branch as well as its distance. When he answered, the old man's tone was nonchalant, but his words formed a picture designed to touch a place deep inside the boy. "'Cause I'm an old guy and don't need nothing. But your mom, excepting for you, is alone. So you see," Jones selected a big pine cone from the many lying about and placed it carefully on top of the sandy trail. The old man looked down at the pine cone, then up at the tree limb that had grown across the trail. It was about 8 feet off the ground. Taking 3 big steps backwards, Jones continued to speak to the red-headed boy who was watching him closely. "The way I figure it is," he looked at the pine cone again, then the tree limb, "I'm doing you a big favor." The old man made 2 giant steps sideways, leaned a bit forward, and looked again from the pine cone to the branch and back to the pine cone. His arms hung loose as he slightly rocked back and forth. Standing several feet away in order to have a clear view of the action, Oliver said, "What's the big favor?" Still focusing, the old man said, "Well, when I kick this field goal and win our little contest, I will have made things happier for you at home. Because when the man of the house, that's you, brings the woman of the house, in this case your mom, flowers, she appreciates the man to a greater degree. He feels appreciated, and he is thus happy. Holding up a hand, he said, "Now, if you'll just give me a second." Jones took quick steps, 2 quick steps, in his flip-flops and kicked the pine cone hard, catching it full on the lower third with the bare half of his right foot. The cone sailed high and true, crossing over the limb with room to spare. Jones held both hands straight up into the air like an official. "And the kick is good," he yelled, dancing in place just a tiny bit. "Yow," the teenager said. "That had to hurt your foot." "Nope," the old man said. "It didn't, but nice try at changing the subject." Grinning at Oliver, he pointed toward the flowers and added, "Pay up, Ollie. Start picking." Oliver had been faithful to his responsibilities at the Five and Dime. On the 2 Saturdays he had worked so far, the redhead had arrived early, worked energetically, and stayed until Jones insisted he head home. Ollie was at the store every weekday afternoon as well. It was obvious that he loved being there. One might even say that Oliver Sutherland was drawn to the place. After being in Orange Beach for a couple of weeks, Keeley shared an observation with the old man. "School is out at 3, she said. "Yes," Jones responded. "But you watch," the young woman went on. "Ollie will be here before 3:15. Jones waited for her to continue. When she did not, he prompted, "And your point is?" "It's just funny to me," Keeley remarked before interjecting. "Funny strange, I mean, not funny ha-ha." The old man nodded. "It's just funny that Ollie doesn't get out until 3. School is more than a mile from here. He has no ride, no bike. But the kid gets here before 3:15 every day. What does he do, run flat out the whole way here?" Jones chuckled. "I'm just saying that he needs this place," Keeley continued. "Or you." Jones paused before tossing that one back. "Or you," he said, and allowed the thought to hang in the air for a moment. "Either way," the old man grinned, "Ollie is always on time." On this particular day, however, the teenager had been early, really early. Arriving shortly after 11 o'clock, when asked why, Ollie had explained that some kids were granted an entire week off to prepare for exams. As soon as the words had come from his mouth, Keeley was opening her own with the intention of challenging what he'd said. Before she spoke, however, the old man laid his hand on her arm to hold her back. "Good for you, Ollie," he said. "Since you have a bit of extra time and I need to get some fresh air, why don't you join me on a walk down by the canal?" Though her eyes narrowed, Keeley agreed to hold down the fort while they were gone. And in any case, that is how the old man had begun to maneuver the boy into picking flowers in the first place. Within a couple of minutes, the teenager held a large bouquet of long, stiff stems, many of which held 2, some even 3 or 4, bright yellow blossoms. The flowers were the size of a baby's palm and shaped like bells. Pointing the handful of lemon-colored blooms toward the sun, Oliver studied the translucent quality of the petals. Beautiful though they were, the young man did not smile. His only words were, "Can we go now?" Jones nodded in response and began to walk. The old man's blue eyes cast about, taking in the trees, the sky, and the slow-moving water of the intercoastal canal. His mind, however, was fixed firmly on the teenager beside him. Reaching a bit of shade, Jones leaned against a big pine and said, "Whew, hang on a sec, I need to take a break." Oliver turned to face him. "We just started back." Ignoring that, Jones said, "Seems a pretty good deal to get a week out of school just before exams, right before summer. And you said only some kids got the week off? How'd the principal choose which kids?" Oliver glanced to his right before looking directly at the old man. "He said it was a combination of grades and club participation." Transferring the flowers from his right hand to his left, Ollie rubbed the bridge of his nose, adding, "I'm in chess club, rugby club, and a club that discusses current events. So I qualified." The flowers went back to his right hand, and with the fingers of his left, he scratched the side of his nose. "AB average," he said. "3 clubs. I qualified." Jones stared at the teenager without moving or smiling. "Does your nose itch?" he asked finally. Oliver frowned slightly and rubbed his nose again. "I guess," he said, and tried to laugh. I guess it does." Jones nodded. "Of course it does," was all he said, but he continued to stare at the young man. Oliver shook his head, still attempting to smile. "What does that mean?" Jones cocked his head, but his eyes never left the teenager's face. "As a noticer," he said, "here is a curious thing I have noticed throughout the years. While in the process of answering a direct question, people tend to glance left if they are trying to remember certain things that happened. Looking to the right, however, is what most people do if they are attempting to construct a story." Oliver did his best in that moment to appear interested, but Jones spoke again. "A story constructed on the fly holds another marker, too. Oddly enough, quickly fabricated answers to uncomfortable questions often cause nasal capillaries to expand. A rapid increase in blood flow to the skin's surface almost always causes it to itch." The teenager had figured the old man was flying blind, but now Oliver knew exactly where he was looking to land. Sure enough, Jones hit the runway hard. "All that good grades and multiple club stuff," he said. "You delivered it all with consistent glances to your right, and you scratched your nose the entire time. You were lying, Ollie." Briefly, there was rage in the teenager's eyes, but just as quickly as it had appeared, the fury was gone. Or at least it was masked. Oliver casually tossed the flowers onto the ground and stepped on them. "I'll give my mother something different," he said, and turned, hiding his face from the old man. As the boy moved to walk away, Jones asked quietly, "Why is that, Oliver?" Oliver stopped, and briefly his whole body appeared to sway. "Ollie?" Jones' voice was clear, but filled with a compassion that seemed determined to take another's pain as his own. "Why would you want to get something different for your mom?" The tall, lanky redhead turned back to face his friend and took a deep breath, attempting to control his emotions. "Because I hate," he began, but could not finish what he'd intended to say. As sobs overwhelmed him, the teenager rushed into the arms of the old man and yielded to a confusion and despair he had never imagined. "What, Ollie?" Jones asked again. "What is it that you hate?" With an anguished wail, followed by whispered words, the boy answered in a way, at that moment in time, no one but the old man could have ever understood. Yellow flowers, Oliver said. I hate yellow flowers. Chapter 17. I really hope you guys will get this. If you've already pre-ordered it, please just send us, just take a picture or something, a screenshot, and send it to Andy at andyandrews.com, or direct message us on any of the social media with that picture or that screenshot, and we will send you the 4-hour audio version of Becoming a Noticer. But I really think you're gonna like this. Listening from Nigeria, somebody right now listening from Nigeria, and I'm so sorry I can't pronounce your name, but it looks like a beautiful name. So Debbie Allen says thank you. Listen, really just I love being with you guys, and I'm excited about the story coming up. Hey Clint, hey Dean. And so I know that in this time, during this time, I don't know if you know, but I'm not really going to be doing any television shows, because all the television shows that you usually do, they're all saying, oh, sorry, we're all COVID, we're all election. And so I'm depending a lot on my friends, and that's you, and word of mouth to spread the word about the book. And so I hope you will spread the word, but I also hope that you'll read it quickly so that you can decide if you want to tell more people, yeah, it's okay, or yeah, you really need to get it. We're going to do another one of these, a Blue Plate special on Thursday, and then next week I'm going to be gone, but we're going to figure out a way to do something, because Tuesday morning at 7 Central, I'm going to be doing Rick and Bubba's radio show. So if you listen to Rick and Bubba, or even if you don't, you need to listen that day. They are so funny. They're great guys. And then that evening, Tuesday evening at 5 p.m. Central, I'm going to be doing a Facebook Live on Michael Hyatt's Facebook page, which is like massive. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I love Mike and Gail, and so I'll be doing that on Tuesday. Then Wednesday, I'll be on Dave Ramsey's radio show and on Ken Coleman's radio show up in Nashville. And then Thursday evening at 5, I'm going to be doing the show with Jimmy Urie, the Urie Chapel, over at their house. So it's going to be a fun week, and that's the release week. It releases on Tuesday, and so I really appreciate you guys. Appreciate your help, and I cannot wait to hear what you say when you read it. I just can't wait. So thank you all very much. Appreciate you, and I'll see you very soon.